because we didn't know, like, I guess we were also scared to hire
Yeah.
someone, going on Indeed or Craigslist or, on these job posting sites. I think it was also that, we've never really hired someone. So we asked one of our friends.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Driven. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing hiring.
Mm-hmm.
I know, well, at least for me, I would like to say I'm not an expert in hiring, but we have hired quite a bit of people.
In the last month, I think it's been 4 people.
In the last month, it's been 4 people. It's been...
It's gonna be 2 for production.
2 for production.
And then I know 2 for the social media.
2 for the social media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I know before that, that's pretty much once you're ready. If you're starting a business, the moment you're ready to hire is pretty much once you're ready to hire. It's not.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure when we started a business, we didn't hire right away. It was just me and you.
Yeah. And I think like that should be the focus, especially when you're starting your business. At the beginning, it's just learning your business, learning how to sell, learning how to fulfill whatever it is that you sell, whether it be a product or service. And then also like on the back end, like the customer service, the bookkeeping, taxes is something important that I think everyone needs to at least learn the basics as how to file, or at least find someone good that is able to teach you and be able to do that for you. So at the beginning stages, I think it is just focusing on your business, learning the ins and outs. Because when you do hire people, you're going to need to train them on those things.
But why do you think it's important? Because if I have the extra money or I have the resources, why can't I just...
And I guess we were talking more about from like, for someone like us, where we started with no money. We started our business with like working jobs and saving $400 to buy the vinyl. And then we got a credit card to buy the machine.
Yeah.
And so we started with no capital. Like we took us a while to save $400 to purchase the vinyl. And so I guess it's coming from that perspective. Which I think a lot of people are coming from that end,
100%.
where we don't have there's not a lot of capital, and so that's how we started. We started with us and $400 with I think a $2,000 credit card limit, and we bought the machine, we used the vinyl, and we started our business. And so that's on that end. But for example, if you do have capital, then in that case, kind of like how these companies that are startups in the techs, they have a lot of money, and then they start hiring like the really good people. So I guess what was the question?
Yeah, pretty much. Why do you think it's important to start doing the work in all aspects in your business? Because what I was going with that is pretty much, I think that's also good that even if you have some capital to still, I think you said it good, that still pretty much figure out the inner workings of your business, figure out like what your product is, figure out your customer, figure out the customer service side. Because once you know it in and out, once you hire people, even though like they're already customer service experts or they're product experts or whatever you hire people for, they're experts in, you can still pretty much, at the end of the day, the ones who are going to make the decisions that's going to continue growing the business, at least in the beginning, is going to be you.
Yeah. And you're going to know your business more than anyone else.
Yeah, because the moment someone leaves that's an expert, the moment someone leaves, well, you're stuck at zero again. Yeah. So it'll be a lot easier for you to just, continue moving forward.
No, definitely 100%. And so that's how we started. It was just us two, like I mentioned, like the vinyl and the machine, and we started. But then I know I started growing. And one of the things that I know in the beginning, we weren't experts. No.
And so how did we get our first worker, or how did we bring someone on board in the company? Because I know we didn't, what we know now on how to hire individuals or how to hire people for certain positions, we didn't know like at the start of the business. So how do we go about it, like just our experience?
So in the beginning, I know so I guess with that, once we knew we needed another person, once we pretty much we hit capacity where we still are able to grow the business, but we can't because we don't have the time for it per se, because we're doing all these other things. At that point, okay, we need someone else. And then how we went about it was because we didn't know, like, I guess we were also scared to hire someone, going on Indeed or Craigslist or on these job posting sites. I think it was also that we've never really hired someone. So we asked one of our friends if they wanted to work with us, and this person also worked with us in our previous business. So for us, it was kind of like a no-brainer. Yeah. So that's how we went about it. We asked our friend. I know a lot of the times that's not necessarily the best. No. But we went ahead and did that. We asked one of our friends.
Yeah. It may not be the best, but I think that's a start because it allowed us to build pretty much the foundation of the skills of, you know, how to manage people, how to lead people. And those were the starting stages. And yeah, with that one, it was a good experience. He's still on board to this day. And that's the thing.
5 years.
Yeah. And then pretty much how did the next few hires go? Like, who were they? Did we go on Indeed or?
They were still, I think because it was our fear of not knowing how to work with people, strangers. I think our next person was also one of our friends. And then after that, it was one of the people that worked there, one of the recommendations.
Yep.
And then after that, I don't know if you remember.
So it was the first individual who came on board was our friend.
Yeah.
The second one was also our friend.
Yeah.
The third one was a recommendation.
From one of them.
Yeah, from one of them.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one, it was our cousin.
Was it?
Right?
I think so.
Because that was when we moved to the other warehouse.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So pretty much people that we already knew.
Yeah. And that was because, again, we were scared. Scared in the fact that, like, damn, now I got to take care of someone, a complete stranger, like the interactions. What if I don't get the correct person, quote unquote, correct person? So it's more of scaredness. Do you remember the fifth one?
I think that one was actually from Indeed.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, because I remember, and I think she's still with us today.
Was it?
Yeah.
It wasn't that one girl who worked for a bit and then left without saying anything?
Oh, okay. So that was, okay, it was the guy first. The big guy.
Yeah, the big guy.
Okay, and then we started working, and because we didn't know what we were doing, it kind of makes sense why they're not here with us. So it was the guy and then the girl.
Yeah.
And so we didn't know exactly what to look for, what to do, how to onboard them. We didn't know exactly what we were doing, and it kind of goes to show, like, you know, it shows in the evidence, like, they're not here anymore.
Yeah. One of them just completely left without saying anything the first week.
And then the other one left because I think things were starting to change. Like, we started becoming, okay, let's focus on the business now.
Yep.
Instead of, you know, working on the day-to-day per se.
Yep.
So those two left. And then after that, it's someone who's still with us.
Yep.
He's still with us. And then pretty much after that, everyone that we've hired after that has been here since.
Yeah. Yep.
Because then I think it was one of the person that handles our back end.
Yep.
And then, or before that, it was someone else that works in production.
Yeah. But, yeah. So it was two more for production. And then one of them was a recommendation from one of the production people, which the guy isn't here anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, but pretty much it goes to show, like, in the beginning, we were somewhat scared to just approach, which I don't think it's a bad idea to hire your friends if you're just starting out, because, you know, eventually maybe just for the extra help, maybe just, you know, pay them for, like, for what they help, not completely bringing them on board. And if you do bring them on board, just onboarding them, guiding them every step of the way. And, you know, with that, you're going to gain experience, because after that, it was just pretty much looking for people on the job posting sites, right?
On the job posting. Pretty much it was that. Pretty much it was just that. The Indeed, I think, was our main way that we found people, employees.
Yeah, because pretty much everyone we found on Indeed, probably like the majority, like 90%. And 90%, I know it was only like 2 people, but one of them was a recommendation.
Yeah.
But pretty much they're not with us. Everyone else is with us.
Yeah, so pretty much starting from like one of our production workers, that after that, it's because I think we started learning pretty much what it is that we look for.
Yeah.
And so I guess just what is it that we look for. I know it does depend on kind of like the type of person that you are looking for, like on the level. Because for example, in production, like, cause there's not really a job that does exactly what we do. So it's more about we are gonna train them regardless of what experience that we have.
Yeah.
And so I think when looking for someone at entry level, let's say, I think the character and the attitude of the person is a lot more important than the experience that they have had, especially in the entry level positions. Because from our experience, someone with not the same attitude or the same
Yep.
character as the rest of the people, it's hard for them to fit with the culture with
Yep.
them, and then it causes problems and it causes issues.
Yep.
And so that was our experience. So at least with the entry level positions, that's the main thing that we look for. Like, how's their attitude like? How's their character?
Yep.
And so that's what we made hire based off for those entry level positions. Now I know that, for example, let's say one of our guys that handles the pretty much in charge of like the marketplaces. In that situation, character and attitude are important, but at the same time, skill is going to be extremely important. Do they know how to handle the back end? Do they know how to handle like the skills of doing like the listings and whatever it may be? It's going to be extremely important too. But for example, as a starting business or being a small business, you're probably gonna hire people that handle that'll handle some of the stuff that are small that you're handling, like the laborious part and all. So with that one, the skill isn't really that important, at least in my opinion. It's more of the character and the attitude that the person possesses. And so and that's pretty much what we look for. For example, when we hire someone that fulfills the orders and works on the floor in the shop, we look for the attitude and the character. And then obviously like little things here, like previous work experience, how do you handle the situation, but the attitude and skill, the attitude and character are more important. And I know you hired 2 people for social media. So how was that like?
Well, it was more for media, just either working on videos or working on whatever we needed to do on the media side. The first one, I remember it was specifically for social media, which the individual was really well, like he was really good. But more than anything, it was my lack of experience, because I remember when he first came in, it was just like, all right, you're hired. Not like that, but pretty much, all right, you're working with us. We got to make this video, make it happen. Not like that, but pretty much in that way. And I know kind of had to figure it out from the beginning. There was no guidance. His skill was there. His attitude was really great. Like, he had no issues with anyone. He pretty much it was lively. Yeah, so his attitude was good. His willingness to work right off the bat was really good. It's just, it was my inexperience, my lack of experience, that wasn't able to guide him. Which either way, like, eventually he was good. He stayed with us for like 1.5 years, but now he went back to school to go pursue other things. But and so pretty much after that, I know we needed help with the media side when it comes to the installation video, so we needed an editor. And pretty much what I was looking for is, again, character, but also skill, because I know when it comes to the higher level positions, when it's not just laborious, when you actually need some skills to get the job done, I know you need a hire for the position. And that's one thing I've been learning with these past 2 hires, is hire for the position. Because I know it doesn't make sense if you hire someone specifically for editing. They don't need to have the best personality, the best character, just to go above and beyond. If it's just editing, in reality, if it's just 100% editing, someone could do it remote, which but that's for another topic. The remoteness. But I know when this individual came in, and I remember when we posted that job, it was around 2023, 2022, I forget. But in one day we had 160 applications on Indeed for the position of editing. So I closed it. And when I closed it, I know that this individual, one of the things he mentioned to me is that he was going to write down some notes, and he was going to apply, but then he saw that it was closed. So the thing he did is he drove to the warehouse, and that's one of the things, like, he went above and beyond. He watched some of the videos that we needed help editing, and he wrote down a bunch of notes. He's like, all right, this is some of the things that we could fix. These are some of the things that I would like to do, and this is some of the things that I could do for you. And the rest of the applications were good. That's the thing. But it's just that if you are applying, if you are hiring for those higher level positions, a lot of people are going to be good. A lot of people are going to be great. So there's a difference between good and great. And then there's going to be like those few individuals that are just going to be like, okay, it just makes sense. Like, we got to hire this person right away.
What's the difference between good and great?
So good and great is just like, I have the skill.
So what's good?
So good, I would say it's just having the skill.
Okay, you have the skill. That's a good one.
So yeah, it's kind of like maybe I don't have the best attitude. Maybe I don't work well with other people.
Okay.
But I have the skill. Like if
Yeah.
I'm just an editor, I could get the job done. I have the skill. Great is having the skill, but also being able to fit within the culture of the company. Because I know each company is going to have their own different cultures. Our culture, that's why we have our core values, which is value, speed, character, and
That was it. There was only two. The main was speed is king and also character of the person.
Yeah. So pretty much those two. So I know each company is going to have their culture. The great people, they're going to be able to assimilate, pretty much just go in to the company and just fit in good. And they also have the skills. So I would think those are the great people. Now, with that individual, he went above and beyond. I know he didn't want to miss the opportunity. He went to the warehouse. He presented the resume. Yeah. And we were at lunch. So
wait, I was gonna say that it was one of the person that attended him that told us about him.
Yeah, it told us about him, but he's all like, oh yeah, and he provided me notes, and I took a picture. Here's the pictures, and when I looked at them, he's all like, these are like the 5 things that maybe we could improve on, and I would like to do for you. And so he went out of his way to do his research. Yeah. Yeah, and so I'm like, okay, right away. And so those are the people that are the great people. So there's a difference between good and great. Yeah. And then just above and beyond. Yeah, so that individual, and granted, it was only for the position of editor. So pretty much I could have hired the cheapest editor and he would have got the job done. But, one of the things is that I saw potential and then also preparing for the future because we had growth. So I'm like, we need help with social media. This guy he had 11 years of experience in filmmaking. He already had led a team when it comes to when you make a movie or you make a film, there's the director and then you have the camera people, the light people. Yeah. So pretty much he had that experience. And I'm like, okay.
He was able to he was one of the filmers or the lighters, or he was able to
he was able to dictate what each person was gonna do.
Okay.
So light person, you're gonna take care of the lights in this order. You're gonna do this and that. Camera people, you're gonna do this and that. And so, and it wasn't because of the experience he had. It was more of he went above and beyond to okay, he was doing work before the work started. So he was willing to prove himself before. Yeah. And that's one of the things that you're going to find those few individuals that and the thing is he has the character too. Yeah. He's able to fit within the culture. Yep. So he had the skill, he had the character, and he was willing to go above and beyond before the work started. And that's one of the things we've seen that some people is just weekend this year, just going to shut out my brain. Yeah. And that's it. Which is fine. I mean, we don't, for some of the positions that we have, we don't expect that from people. And as you've seen as the new hire, the girl for social media, she's I'll get into that, but she's going above and beyond too after work. And you've seen it. Yeah. But pretty much that's what I would say is just from the good to the great to the the exceptional. Now I know there's gonna be for the super higher positions that people have all that plus more. The experience, years of experience, maybe already led a team, maybe are just I don't know.
But that does depend on the position that you're.
Yeah, 100%. Because I know for the laborious side, or maybe for the entry level, maybe just the entry level editor, it's just there's only so much that, especially for the people that want more, they're gonna want to be more than just an editor, or they're gonna want to be more than just a social media content creator. So yeah, at least when it comes to that, that's what I would define from the just good because of just the skill, and then the great, which is the skill and the culture, and then just going above and beyond, which is you're gonna see those few individuals.
And so what do you recommend you hire?
Me?
Yeah.
One of the things I learned from this past hiring is pretty much I try to look for both, but at the end of the day, I still hire for the position. So because I know for these past 2 hires, we were looking to grow the social media team,
right?
And so there were a lot of people with a lot of experience. But for the position we were hiring, we were looking for a videographer. So even though they had a bunch of experience in media and a bunch of experience making movies, making films, we were looking for a videographer. So we were looking, or at least I was looking for someone who was able to just
Right.
connect, who was able to bring out the most from us. And that's why I'm learning that sometimes you need to hire for the position, even though people have more experience, because some people are overqualified for that position.
So I guess to find hire for that position, what does that mean?
Uh, Again, so if you need someone for customer service, like if you have candidates, they may like have the skill when it comes to like the textbook skill, like maybe organizing or I don't know, like the back end.
So different skill than customer service.
Yeah, there that. But then customer service is you need to treat you kind of like treating the customer right. If it's a face to face, especially in retail,
Yeah.
you have someone who's able to treat the customer right, who's able to just have that emotional composure. So it's more of that versus like maybe like me. I don't think I'll do good in customer service.
So hiring someone that has those skills.
Yeah,
Okay.
specific for that position.
Right.
So if it's for customer service, I think I would be terrible at customer service.
So is it because from the one example that he gave me, like, because I know you had to do 2 different job postings,
Yeah.
filmmaker and then more like for the position.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're saying, right?
What do you mean?
So because you say hired for the position, so
Yeah.
like I'm still trying to understand. Is it
Well, hiring for the position, if you have a bunch of candidates
Yeah.
that they're all good, pretty much try to find the person that's going to be best suited for that role overall. Whether it be culture, because some people, they were really good, like they had the experience, but what we needed them for, like the culture or the videographer, it wasn't there.
that makes sense.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's what I mean about hiring for the position, because like a customer service, I would be terrible. The way I talk, the way I sometimes.
Well, yeah, like if you're gonna hire someone for customer service, it's better if you know, someone who has the customer service and who has pretty much the skill.
Yeah.
And pretty much everything that goes into customer service.
Yeah.
If you hire someone for, like, let's say, who's gonna be listing, let's say, on like the marketplaces for us, someone who pretty much is able to pretty much someone suited for the job.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
It's kind of like a actor. Hire for the position.
An actor?
Yeah, kind of like if you're gonna hire an actor, it's just pretty much trying to get the best actor, trying to get the person who's just gonna, like, as soon as the camera starts, they're fucking there. That's why they have auditions, because they're hiring for the role. It's kind of like yeah.
Oh, okay. So I guess an example opposite of that is, for example, you hire someone from, let's say, hire someone to customer service, but then all they've been doing is working in the back of the warehouse.
Yeah.
So that would be like the opposition to that. Okay. Yeah. So definitely, I think that's 100% in agreement, and I think that would be a good recommendation for people to hire for what it is that you're looking for.
Yeah.
No, that's 100%.
Yeah. And I guess a question for you, because I know in the beginning we were just hiring. We hired our friends and we're like, oh, just help us out. We don't have anything, ready. Just help us out. And then that's how we continued even after we were hiring people that we didn't know, hiring people from like Indeed or just somewhere else.
Because I think it was like, what do we look for when we hire someone?
Yep.
I think we pretty much, and then maybe like when we hire someone, like, pretty much these are the steps.
Okay. So I guess a question for you, because I know I talked about pretty much, at least on the higher level position, what I've been going through, like my experience, from the people from good to like the great people to like the phenomenal people. But what are the steps if someone wants to hire someone like from start to finish? I know in the beginning we just recommended, we just wanted to go with our friends. But pretty much if someone doesn't have like the luxury or doesn't want to hire their friends, like what are the steps?
So like doesn't have the luxury to hire a
Yeah,
friend?
so like pretty
much hire a stranger.
Hiring a stranger.
I think that the easiest, because the thing is that because of the lack of experience when it comes to like, being new to something, I think we are going to make mistakes. We've made a lot of mistakes, and some of the things that are going to be new to us, we're probably going to make mistakes. And so knowing that you might make a mistake, I think is the first thing, is like knowing that, you probably might not be the best at looking for what it is that you need, like looking at the characteristics, at the skills, at the attitude, you might not be the best in finding that person. And so knowing that, but with that being said, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be at least trying to go, look for those, look for the best candidate. And so going on Indeed, I think it's at least for us, Indeed what has been the best one is the one that produces the most candidates. Like Craigslist was something before,
Yeah.
but it kind of like at least for that's how I found all my jobs, and I think that's how you find your jobs. And so Craigslist is kind of like it's not as powerful anymore.
No.
And then is the at least for us that's how we've been able to find the candidates. But then I know there's other avenues that you can't hire someone. But at least for us, for like the entry-ish level type of positions that we've been hiring for, that's been working really good. So Indeed is the main one. And I guess what was the question?
For pretty much, what are the steps if we want to hire someone, complete stranger? Because I know if it's just a friend, it's just like maybe we do an interview.
Yeah. So pretty much go on Indeed, and then pretty much clearly state the job position and the title, and just be very descriptive in what it is that they're gonna be doing. So be descriptive in your job posting, and then pretty much once from that, your job's gonna go live, and then there's gonna be a bunch of applicants, and then just looking for. And it's gonna be hard, especially if it's entry level, because they're gonna have different varying experiences. And so I guess just going through the interviews, if you need to go through all of them, like actually physical interview, then that's something I recommend. And then, like how I mentioned, I think just looking for the character, the attitude, whether you're gonna be able to work with them. I think is something that is at the beginning is gonna be extremely important to look for that by our interviews, because that's the best that they're gonna present themselves in the interview. That's the best. And so as you're doing an interview, like, is this someone that I can work with? Is this something that I can see myself working well with? And so I think looking at that is the most important, and then from that just making the decision and then just hiring them. It's pretty simple, straightforward. Especially when you're starting out.
Okay. So what would you say? Okay, we post up the job posting. We're descriptive in our job description, because like if we just put warehouse and we need someone for production, we're gonna have people with forklift experience. So be descriptive. Okay, so we're descriptive. We post it online. We have a bunch of candidates. So pretty much just like summarize, like, what would we be doing if someone were to just start? Like, hey, I already posted my thing. What do I do next?
Like, what would we be doing once?
So like, what are the next steps after posting the...
Pretty much, I know that we have a steps where we do phone interviews, for like slight phone screening. Because if it's someone that they applied, but they don't even know who's, like, okay, we tell them the company, but they don't even know who's that, then it's kind of almost like because they're applying for pretty much everything, and they don't really have a recollection, and so they haven't done the research. So they're just looking for a job, as opposed to looking to go work somewhere and do their best because of the company. So definitely like a phone screening is the best way to kind of like eliminate some of the candidates. And then from that, seeing which ones, like based on the answers that they gave you for the questions that you asked, which ones were the best, and then for those, bring them to the interview, a person interview, and then like how I mentioned, just see if this is someone that I'm gonna be able to work with, and then just making the decision of hiring. Pretty simple, especially and this is for, like how I mentioned, like when you're starting out, probably looking for someone that is an entry level.
And I think that phone interview, that phone screening is really important. Just for anyone, even entry level position, just like how you mentioned, it's just kind of seeing if some people are just applying to apply. They just mass apply. Which there's nothing wrong with it, but I think that initial screening is really important.
No, it definitely is, because I think it's saved us a lot of time.
100%.
It saved us a lot of time in having someone like that. It really doesn't care. There's been interviews that I've had that like, oh, why do you think you'll be a good candidate to work here? And I remember one of the responses was, honestly, I just need money. I'm like, okay, like in my head, I'm like, this fucker is just gonna come here and just see how, like, their hours and not really focus on the work or anything like that. So they're just gonna focus on like I worked 8 hours, so that like and at least for us, when we've had those type of employees, it hasn't always been the best. But so definitely it saves a lot of time and a lot of headache. The phone screening, so call them, ask some questions, and from that, just bring them to the interview, and then hire whoever you think you're gonna work best with.
And that's what I was gonna say. It's it's become a lot easier for us because right now we're a team of 15. So like we just went through a lot of interviews, a lot of screenings, a lot of people, a lot of positions, and so we've seen like what works, what doesn't. But I think just going back to the basics, going back to the beginning, how kind of like how you said, if you're just starting out, learn everything of your business. Like just work on your business, work on, if you're e-commerce, work on the shipping, the fulfillment, the customer service, the listing the stuff online to your website. If you're service based, like maybe you're a landscaper, detailer, you do the detailing, you book the calls, you do your social media, you do everything. And then until you can't do it anymore, until you're physically like you just can't, you're already working maybe like 12 plus hours, 16 hours where you can't, and then maybe start looking for someone else, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
If the business could handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like how you said, I would just I agree, stick to the basics and then just go from there.
Definitely. And then one of the things that I do want to say, this is our advice and recommendations, because this is pretty much what we went through. This is how we went about it. Because I know there's probably like other people that are gonna say, oh, you know, like you just hire the right, which is true. Like if you have the luxury to be able to do so, that is a faster way to grow. So this is how we did it, and this is how it worked and is working well for us. It's working well for us.
Yeah, and that's because we didn't start. And that's because we didn't start with any capital. Yeah. We didn't start with any business knowledge. We didn't have anyone to guide us. We didn't have anyone to just hold our hands and just guide us. So
it was a slow process, but we learned a lot along the way.
Yeah.
And so like how I was saying, like there are other ways. But for example, if you're in where we were in our position, where we don't have many luxuries and we don't have any knowledge, I think it's the best approach. It's the best approach. But then like there are other ways, like
100%.
You know, like for example, like if you already have the knowledge, you already have the knowledge, and you're gonna know what to do. Yes. But for example, if you do have some capital, let's say you've been working at a good job, then you know, there are other ways, like you hire someone that is an expert. And for example, like let's say in our business, like someone who's already like has a lot of experience in different marketplaces, someone who already has the customer service, someone who's able to manage a team of fulfillment. And so you just hire the team out, and you are going to grow fast. It's going to be a lot faster.
Or just like the example with the girl with the social media, she has vast experience with social media, like more than everyone from the media team combined. So social media and traditional media is a lot different. She has the experience on social media. She's coming on board, and we see the results right away. You've seen it, like just on the traffic, the views, the sales. They're getting there. So kind of like how you were saying.
What was I saying?
That pretty much that's
like an example, like if you hire someone that is for the position, like the effect that they can have. Okay, yeah. And if you have that, but if you do have the luxury, if you're able to, or you do have that capital, because it isn't a luxury. When we say luxury, it sounds like we're trying to diminish, like, oh, you have money. Well, if you have the capital, if you have the capital, then that probably is the best approach. I would think though that having a little bit of knowledge on who you're hiring is important, like how to hire is important. But because if you do have the capital but you have absolutely no how, then I think starting like steadily growing, I think is the best, in my opinion, is the best approach, so you don't mess up.
Because if you do, it's just going to be like a small step down. It's not going to be just breaking the whole wall.
100%. But yeah, and like pretty much like this is our recommendations based on how we started and how it's been growing and how it's been working well for us. But yeah, on my end, I don't have anything. Do you have anything else to add?
No, that's pretty much it.
But yeah, with that being said, this has been another episode of Driven. My name is Juan.
My name is Alexis.
And we'll see you on the next one.